me when I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We are a chosen generation. Come out to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am.
And proper to establish a small crèche in a clean environment. So most members of staff who are nursing mothers now come here, take care of their babies, and then outsiders too have tried to patronize us because the place is clean and conducive and they are safe from outside pollution.
That's the main crèche.
That's the main crèche. You can hear the crying of babies. Can you hear them? Okay, that's our members of staff and outsiders. So some are, the little ones are here. You can hear the noise of some in another room. That's the pre-KG.
Sorry, can you come this way, please?
Okay. So you can see some of the babies are sleeping, and because there are different stages of growth, the older ones are in the other side of the hall. You can hear them talking. Those are the pre-KG children, but these ones are infants. Uniform materials to the children, but just now they are on holidays because I asked them, said because they are on holidays, that's why they are not wearing their uniform. They are taught figures, how to identify objects, and with some play item, toys, to make the place baby friendly. They bring their children here also. Of course.
Using occupation as a medium of treatment. So here now, as you can see, most of our patients they are started coming. We design our program in such a way that patients will benefit from all activities. So, like the occupation, we break down the occupation to activities to tasks, and tasks to skills, which enable the patient to be reintegrated back to the society after discharge from the hospital. So you see the difference.
Why are you shooting? Why are you shooting? I'm shooting.
Exactly what we do. When we live here and you see exactly what is coming out from this place, we see it in our art gallery.
Yes.
So we have our theme for position.
This one is for decoration, flower vases.
The type of treatment for patients, the form of
and tie and dye. You see some of the products. During Christmas time, you see people coming to buy these things from us, from Lagos Street. And they put into our bed. This section. Where is it? Okay. Here now. All this is this one, this is because we were struggling with a manual something. But with our machine now we can play, we can cut at any time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you must be wondering why all these arts, they're all part of the treatment of mentality. At a stage in the curative form, stage of the treatment, we normally get them into, some of this is to hide them and to let some of them pick up some skills along the line. It's called occupational therapy. It's a form of treatment for patients. That's why we have all this.
And very many of them who have also graduated from here, they now take care of them. They are able to buy drugs because the patient cannot even continue to buy drugs forever. They treat themselves. They are able to come and go for follow-up, see doctor and take drugs for themselves because what they learned here, they put it in practice when they get home. So,
and at the time of inception of this administration, this was not in existence.
no, even all these buildings we are seeing that they were not in existence. It just ordinarily by the patient under the supervision of our qualified staff. So you can see everything, all those tie and dye, which I told you before. You see, all these things are done by our outpatients. So they now go home now and start producing it and sell and make money for themselves.
You can see Ashoke. These are samples of Ashoke that are woven by the Occupational Therapy Department.
Yes, like all these ones now. These are
couch dress.
Which they use to move for
Yeah.
all these chairs. Where I show you just now. That's where they are doing all
These
this.
materials are woven in these units, and they are for decorating chairs. And we have pillows, throw pillow, dresses, cane baskets,
Too many all these.
and start producing to make money by themselves. You
It's
can
not-
see this conference bag is also
not
they
this
surprise you because you have seen machines, sewing machines, and that's what we use to produce some of these jobs.
You see all these shoes too? They are all these things are done here in the making this. I've just taken to tell you all these things. So you see palm and all the rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Il est senti.
Joshua. Ask him where people being beaten by rain when they are coming from the school of nursing. The building right there is the library, and it's just newly constructed. Part of that's living in this neighborhood, so the mothers will not need to go to UPTH or Central Hospital to immunize their children. So because of that, that has further reduced the stigma. So people on their own willingly come here, immunize their babies, and go away. Sachet water, in order to clean the streets of Benin and also to give employment to the teeming youths. We encourage people from outside to collect these waste nylons. Please, in this angle here, you can see the dump site of the waste nylon. These are brought into the nylon recycling unit, weighed, and a little stipend is given to people who bring them in. So this has encouraged a lot of youths engage their hands and mind, even though whatever they earn from it is meager, but it's a little way of income generation. Are brought here. You can see them in this bag. They are washed. They are washed here and.
This is the washing machine. Okay, we have the washing machine here. This is the washing machine with which we wash the nylon to remove dirt from it, after which we transfer them to the dryer in order for us to remove the water which we have just used in washing it. Then after washing it, the major thing we do is recycling of the nylon, which is we recycle it so that we can reuse it again and again and again. So these machines you are seeing here, these two machines are recycling machines, which we use in recycling the nylon. So after recycling the nylon material, then we take it to the extruder. This machine is the extruder. Here you have the roller cover, and that is the control panel which we use in controlling the extruder. It blows the material in the form of balloon. This is the bucket where we turn the material. You turn it inside here. By the time you put it here, after heating the machine up to about 180 to 200 degrees, it's the cutting and sealing machine. At a point it will seal it for you, then at another point. Then this is also a punching machine. This one is also part of the occupational therapy.
And this is the printing section of the nylon factory. Because some of our customers who want their nylon branded, they watch the processes and some have interest. And if they're able to talk to their relatives who have the finance or finances, they can set this kind of recycling factory up for them. And this can also be a model for the state, because there are some states that are trying to embark on recycling. So if we're able to do that, especially in each of the local governments in Edo State, you can imagine the number of youths that will be employed. And then you can imagine how clean our environment will also be. Some as broilers and then some as egg layers. And then beside it, you can see a little garden. This is where we grow vegetables and lettuce, you know, cabbage and ewedu and whatever vegetable you can think of. So this is, I believe, is an encouragement to and they are powered by we physically take possession of the place, and luckily we put it in the budget for the year, I think 2007, and federal government graciously agreed, and we started building stage by stage. So the first thing we did was to put up the fence. You can see this is the fence. So we did that one for 1 year. The following year, we started the guest house. And then some of the buildings that you will see when we go inside. So we are the gate house now. And of course, the drain on our post reduced. We no longer burn diesel to go to Miletin. We no longer have to service vehicles so frequently and change engines. The repair borehole, repair generator, and it has served us better. And you can see that this bus is looking clean. You can imagine at the time we were running Miletin 3 times daily. Sometimes during emergencies, when we have emergencies, we go about 6 times. But that is a past history now. So we moved the patients and the nurses and doctors from Miletin to this place. So you are welcome. They are all here now. So you are welcome to Iduawina Quarters permanent site. So let's go inside.
What's the size of the land?
Oh, it's about Mr. Dosui. So 50 hectares of land was ceded to us. And it's about 5 times the size of Uselu Psychiatric Hospital. So let's drive inside.
Which portion of it is
Patients department here. It's just that it's a pity we didn't look at the master plan in my office. That model, I will have told you where all the structures will be, but it doesn't matter. This is the outpatient department. It will house the consulting rooms, medical records, pharmacy, and social workers. So it's currently being used because, as I said, we have moved people from Miletin to this place. But we don't run clinics here because it's far from town. So we still run clinics in Uselu. But when the wards in Uselu are filled up, we bring the patients here for caring. But if there are emergencies, we situate an ambulance here that comes, parks in here from evening till morning time.
Please. So don't worry, I will not. Don't worry.
I will excuse me, let him take his shot.
Okay.
Administration, actually, we try to build up on what the other medical directors have done. You know, we improve the welfare of members of staff, like in the area of emolument, people who are running shifts and they were not paid before. We make sure they start receiving shift duty allowance and other allowances accruing to staff. Then we make sure we also struggle for whatever is due to workers in the health system. You know, we make sure that these are done. And then the OPD, because of our advocacy program, I believe on EBS we run one program in the evening on Fridays, just to increase the level of awareness of patients and relatives to mental health issues. The advocacy has paid up very well. Now we have over 100% turnover of beds. So at any time when emergencies come, we usually look for a patient that's fairly well enough to go home so that we can give him bed. And the OPD can now accommodate more patients, more doctors, more nurses, social workers, occupational therapists, and clinical psychologists.
Okay.
And the emergency, yes, unfortunately we didn't visit the emergency unit. It's a new unit attached to the hospital in Uselu. When patients come as emergencies, they don't necessarily need to mix with patients that are well and are now coming for regular checkup. So in the emergency unit, we make sure they are quickly seen, treated, and admitted if necessary.
Okay.
And in the area of occupational therapy, apart from drugs, we know that patients need to engage their mind and their hands. We all went round, to the occupational therapy department. We saw the different units that are talking of Upper Mission Road. We are talking of Ikpoba Hill Road. We are talking of the bypass. All leads to this place. And staff, they are happy. And here, there is light, there is water. Although we have our own backup, as I said, I talked about solar power energy, then we have the boreholes running effectively. And this has boosted patients' morale and staff morale. Members of staff don't need to travel very long distance again, going to Mile 18, which of course many members of staff don't really like when they are posted to Mile 18. But here, and apart from securing this land for our hospital, the management approached the community, to seek for purchase of land for our staff. So the Staff Multipurpose Cooperative Society is able to dialogue with them, and we bought 100 plots of land which are sold to members of staff at reduced price and to be paid instrumentally. And we are beginning the second phase of acquiring another 100 plots of land from within this neighborhood.
Okay, much about your achievement, madam. So could you now tell us why some elements are organizing an uprising against your administration?
Well, like when Jesus was on earth, he suffered persecution. So it's not new. To me, it's not new. And just because the human mind, some people are peace lovers, some people cooperate, they are loyal to the administration, but there are some dissident group. Initially, they were faceless, but now we know them. And the reasons why I believe they run down the administration is because I'm the first lady in over 44 years of the Psychiatric Hospital. The first lady that is being appointed as chief executive, and I'm a married woman. From here to here, it takes about 5 minutes drive from what you can see. But because it's in picture form, that's why the distance is short. It takes about 5 minutes drive inside. So this is the gatehouse. Please, you can come here and then you can appreciate it more. This is the gatehouse. This is that admin block. That's I can take everything. It's okay. It's okay. This is the admin block. This is the OPD, Outpatient Department, that we have built. You can see that this one is not built yet.
Okay.
Then all these ones are not built except that small one and these two. So the rest are for future construction. So, but the concept is that if somebody comes in who doesn't have business with patient care and just for administrative, you will just come here and then exit and go. Then here in this corner is the School of Nursing. So for students who are School of Nursing students, they will just come in, do their lectures. These are auditorium. These are classroom, hostels, lecture theaters. So for student nurses who don't have much to do with the hospital, they will do this is accommodation, this is Outpatient Department, do their training, take care of patients, and come back to their hostel. Then behind this admin, we have occupational therapists, social workers, psychologists. They occupy these two buildings. Then on this side, you can see the parking slots for parking spaces. Then these ones are for future expansion, but I can tell you what they are. This is a guest house, so that people who just want to relax in the hospital without going inside, they will just come in through here, come here, use the guest house, and off they go. Then this is our own recreational area, future recreational area. You can see this is a swimming pool, this is lawn tennis, this is, it's a shopping mall, then a recreational, like cafeteria or something for outsiders. Then the whole of this area here, that's for the clinical services, like resident doctors doing postgraduate programs, some consultants, some who are on contract, some who are supernumerary, or who are doing just exchange program. This is what they will use. The back is for future expansion. That's in this area. If you notice over there, we are doing farming there, but we didn't go there. That's where we are farming. Then at the back, that's the generator house. That's supposed to be where the generator house should be. But the reason why it is here is for safety. Because you know the place is still largely uninhabited. If we go and hide generator there, and we are here running, operating the hospital, they will vandalize that place, carry our generator away. So because of that, temporarily it is here. But in future, we are going to remove to that place. So this is the front gate. You can see the back gate there and the bus stop. For the future, there's going to be a bus stop at the back there, just as there's a bus stop at the front here. So that's largely what we have. And as I said, it may take, if there is fund, it may take 5 years. But if, as the government is releasing fund, if what they are doing now is still what they are doing, this may take 10 years to fully develop, or even 15 years. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Psychiatric Hospital, Uselu, Dr. Bisi lhenyen, has called on those in position of trust to always put public and corporate interest first in order to effectively render selfless service. She was speaking during a tour of projects that the hospital carried out so far within her 8 years as medical director of the hospital. Taiwo was among newsmen taken on the tour of the facilities by the management team of the hospital.
The facility tour started from the Psychiatric Hospital, Uselu, and was rounded off at the permanent site at Idunwina in Hunde local government area. Among the facilities toured were alternative unit power supply, which powers the conference hall, solar-powered street lights, and the solar power system, which also powers the outpatient department. Other facilities toured were the renovated outpatient department, the village psychiatric hospital at Uselu, where relatives can stay with patients, and nursing mothers who are ill are allowed to bring in their babies, a crèche and a nylon factory. There is also a therapy department. The chief occupational therapist, Prince Matthias Okoro, spoke on the essence of the department.
From here, they now take care of this. They are able to buy drugs because their contribution cannot even continue to buy drugs forever. They treat themselves. They are able to come for follow-up, see doctor, and take drugs for themselves.
At the 15 hectares permanent site expected to house 360 patients, construction work was ongoing with one of the blocks already in use. Taking reporters round, Dr. Lhenyen said building on the achievements of our predecessor has helped her achieve our goal of taking the health institution to greater heights.
So at any time when emergencies come, we usually look for a patient that's fairly well enough to go home so that we can give him bed. And the OPD can now accommodate more patients, more doctors, more nurses, social workers, occupational therapists, and clinical psychologists. When patients come as emergencies, they don't necessarily need to mix with patients that are well and are now coming for regular checkup. So in the emergency unit, we make sure they are quickly seen, treated, and admitted if necessary. Okay. And in the area of occupational therapy, apart from drugs, we know that patients need to engage their mind and their hands.
Dr. Bisi lhenyen came into office as Medical Director of Federal Psychiatric Hospital, Uselu, on the 21st of October 2003. Taiwo in Benin.